some uses out of this, okay? This isn't going to be... Oh god, I hate my chair. Forget about it. I can't waste another like $2,000 on a chair, so you're going to have to deal with my creaky ass chair for a little bit, okay? Okay, but anyways, let me give y'all a quick nighttime ramble slash story time slash life update. As you have known, I have not posted for a very long time. Yeah. But that is because I had some stuff going on, okay? I have things going on in my life. As I'm sure y'all had stuff going on in your life. But I'm very sorry. I was not intending to be gone for that long, but for some reason I have just up and out of disappeared with barely any news. I know I'm a professional ghoster. I'm pretty much a professional ghoster. But when even was the last time I posted? I feel like I posted like a bad tapping ASMR video and just decided to bounce out for a hot minute after I thought my life was gonna go the way that it was gonna go, but it didn't go where it was supposed to go, you know? So, long story short, but not really, because we technically have all the time in the world. Even though I thought I could never actually fill up even 2 minutes of actually talking about my life. Turns out if I start it, it's just never gonna end. Oh, this chair keeps turning back. But yeah, the last time I did it was when I was going through stuff with like workplace depression. I know I'm very much an adult girly. I'm fully 24. Disclosure, if you thought I was older or younger or exactly my age, it does not matter. But yes, I have been working full time, and I have been working full time since COVID around 2 years ago. I think, yeah, no, 3 years ago. Wow, because COVID was 2019, 2020, right? Am I right? But now it went to the point where I was just grasping at straws in order to get a job out of COVID. But then the first job place that hired me right off the bat, after me also graduating also, which I'm not even sure, I can't even get into the degree now, but maybe I will, maybe I won't, who even knows. But I got like a sales job, work from home, very blessed, very privileged. But then that work from home corporate job, it made me realize I was not a corporate girly. Okay, I am just not. And you right there, I see you right there lying on your bed. Corporate life is very specific to a very specific type of person, and I thought I was that specific type of person. I thought I could just deal with an office job and just click and send emails all day after doing tasks and works and stuff like that, and it just was not going where I thought it was going. And I even at one point decided to become friends with my coworkers. Biggest red flag, biggest mistake, but I ended up doing it anyways because I was a youngin' such as yourself right now or back in the day, and I got burned real hard. I got burned back majorly, and they just decided to start stabbing me in the back for all no reason, even though I was trying my goddamn best. Forgive me for not being too smart or whatever, but I was trying. But lo and behold, I am still stuck in the corporate life right now. But now I'm just wondering what I'm even gonna do in the future, and in the midst of it, my health took a plummet of a hit, just a teensy bit. I'm not even sure if I said this on my platform before, but I did have shingles at one point, and so I left like, let me get closer to the camera, it left like this much of scarring from shingles, so like some parts of my face are just like, yeah, that part completely numb, I can't even feel it. It like affected my vision and stuff too. That was also a very much a depressive episode where I thought I was very much mentally strong, but that was only because because seeing someone else die on camera on like national TV or whatever, of course it's heartbreaking, but it's not gonna be as heartbreaking as someone actually passing away and stuff. But something to that degree happened, and like the fear of blindness like took over my head, and also just the fact that I like looked at myself in the mirror and I was just swollen all the way, and also my eye was like swollen shut at that time, so it was just all around a scary moment. But now, after going to a bunch of optometrists, they found out that my shingles was just spontaneous from stress. And forgive me if I'm kind of like jumping all over the place, but yeah, I didn't even have chicken pox when I was younger, but I still got shingles. So y'all, get your shingle shots, okay? Get the chicken pox vaccine, get the shingle shot, shingle vaccine, shingle, jingle all the way. Now it's shingle all the way, okay? Protect yourself, protect your body, and even though not all of us are at a situation here where you can just like up and at 'em leave and avoid the stress of whatever's causing you, whether it be family, friends, work, or hobbies, like forbidden. Just try to cut it out of your life, because at that point, your body is going to fall to the floor and plummet all the way down to hell, and even lower than that, okay? If you don't get rid of that stress in your body soon. That's how I found out the hard way. But anyways, that's even besides the point. And so, I was at a period of my time where everything was just all going to shit, and something also happened in terms of one of my close friends as well in our relationship, and there was like a whole weird turtle gate situation where it involved like a whole uproar over a fight started over plastic straws and turtles. It was a whole shindig. I can't even go into it now because also I feel like it'd be doing a disservice if I were to tell the entire story right now, where they can't have the conversation and fight back and add to their own point, even though I am loving the tea that I would love to share. I'll share that another time. I can share my own teas, but maybe not tea that involve other people as much, because all tea involves other people. But that was that. The friendship ended up falling through, and it was almost a decade-year-old friendship, and that hit me pretty hard as well, because at that point I was like, dang, am I the problem, basically? And I was just trying to think like what went wrong in my life. But of course I had the tried and true fallback of my hobbies, my 3 core: anime, manga, and ultimate games. Yeah. I got like a Switch like two years ago, I think, maybe even a year ago. It's been a crazy blast. But yeah, as soon as I bought that Switch on sale on Boxing Day at one point, the floodgates were open. I was never even that much of a big spender, especially on games and stuff. I couldn't even fathom spending like $0.99 Canadian dollars or even US dollars. Forget about other currencies. I couldn't even spend less than $1 for a gaming app or a very useful app that I like need for school or something. But here I was spending like $66 per game, just like that. I was like, amnesia memories. God realized, like, what's it called? Verge Evermore. Just every game, anything I could get my hands on. Goddamn, I know I have an addiction, and I know I can't even check. I don't even want to check the amount of money that I have spent on all these ultimate games, because they have truly had my heart in a vice grip right now. Like, I'm just like that kid who is just so enamored and engrossed with Fortnite or Among Us back in those days, to the point where I would make it like my entire personality, and I was out here talking with my friends after I just played the game, because obviously I do not have, well, not even obviously, I don't have people in my life that also plays ultimate games like as frequently as I do at that time. And still, even right now, some people I've just forced forced and egged them on to play the games together. Those poor souls. And we have fun talking about it that way and experiencing it together, but I'm sure all of us have that thing where we're interested in doing or whatever as a hobby, but none of your friends, groups, or whatever relationships are interested in the same thing. So it's kind of just you have to only have enjoyment with others, because obviously you want to talk about it at one point. If not, just at least look at memes or content, whatever, TikToks. But I just have to live vicariously through others playing the game that I suggest them for the first time, or reading Reddit threads. Like I've fallen down those holes as well, because I just like really want to hear other people's opinions about things I like. You know, it's just like a fun little thing. And I played a couple games that are gotten into it as well, but of course, like there's only so much limit that you can like force someone else and egg them on and push them on into your own realm of craziness and do dating 2D men all over the world and these crazy antics that they always fall for. Like every single one of these ultimate game stories are unhinged because they always follow the route of like the good ending, the good / best ending, and then the normal ending. Some people have like a mediocre ending like that if you like didn't get enough love points or whatever, or picked the wrong choice, or you get a bad ending, and those bad endings are, I swear to God, the most horrendous, trigger-filled, drama-dumping type of like endings that you can ever imagine. And a lot of these games that are like the most popular games in this industry, in this franchise, are just riddled with like, you know, the R word, SA, and stuff like that. And I'm just like, dang, like why is it that these Japanese ultimate game companies are just loving these type of topics right now? Like I don't even understand why they're so commonplace that it like sort of like attempts to shock you for the shock value of it. Like, you know how sort of horror movies go ahead and just out of nowhere just to get like a jump scare out of you. Yeah, that's the word, jump scare. But it's not truly scary. It's just your heart's pumping and you're like, what the hell's happening? That's the only horror that I get out of it. But I still don't like horror movies to this day, because I don't like those jump scares, because I feel like I'm gonna die at one point. I feel like I will faint because my health is not good at this point as it was when I was like 12, maybe even 2. That was when I was at my prime. That was my body. It was like the movie of like Zac Efron in 17 Again, where he like jumps off the roof and he's like, God, I feel so good. And he's like eating fucking everything in the fridge. I have never had that point in my life, nor will I ever have that point in my life. I'm not like an Olympian sports athlete, cookie cutter, snow angel maker out of nowhere. Like I'm just part of like a Hallmark movie where I can do anything and everything because of the power of love and communication. Those movies are wild too. Don't even get me started. But I eat them up every time. But yeah, I even forgot what I was even talking about. I ended up going down the spiral of talking about my ultimate games. I even thought at one point, I was like, why don't I do a play along, you know, of like all these games that are trying for the first time, because at that point I brought like 10 games already, you know. And I'm like going down this fucking shithole of playing all these lovely fun games, which I highly recommend anyone to try, you know, as long as that's on sale, because at that point spending $60 per game is just not at ideal place right now for everyone, of course. For me, the power of obsession and craziness like pushed me to really spend money on those games. I don't even recommend it to anyone else. Share it with friends or buy it secondhand, please. Please don't be like me, folks. Don't be like me. But yeah, I cooled that down a little bit, mainly because there's no more new games for me to like chomp down on and swallow down. Okay, PG style. But after that, I also did end up going to Japan after taking like a vacation leave from my work, because I decided I do not travel enough. I really don't. And I thought that was gonna be much breakthrough for my content creation as well, where I can do a lot of, content creation. I don't know where I was trying to go with that. I couldn't think of the word fast enough. What was me? But yeah, I did end up taking a lot of videos and stuff like that, where it's pretty much like content, for the sake of content, either to post on TikTok or here on YouTube and stuff like that. But I still didn't get down to editing them. I still have them like in my Google Drive or in my iCloud or whatever, just taking up space. And they're beautiful videos that I've taken in the beautiful places that I went. I've also blown all my money there at that point. I'm just fucking homeless at this point with the amount of money that I spent. I even tried to cut back, so I didn't even buy any like figurines or too much merch or anything like that, because honestly I already have so much merch that I view as like a personal limit, honestly, because my room is already cluttered with stuff, like all these things that I've spent money on. My beautiful man, my beautiful Chinese man from the entire MXTX collection. That's my pride and joy. But yeah, I just do not have space in my room to actually accommodate for all of them, unlike some other people that I know that have like dedicated places and like shelves and stuff, and like that's fucking awesome. I just don't have space. And I feel like I would really be opening like the gateway drug to really just not having any money or even free time, because then I would have to take care of those all the time, like they require a lot of effort, I'm sure, because those figurines, like you have to dust them and stuff, keep them in like the cases or boxes, look out for any sales that's coming on for discounted like models. It's crazy. At one point I was gonna buy this one figure of what's it called, I can't even remember, but I would love a figurine of what's it called, Shodan. I still can't even say the name like smoothly, because the name itself is just so weird off my tongue. I need to learn Mandarin / Chinese or Cantonese or just any language at this point, just to get my brain rolling into learning another language. Just like me when I was learning Japanese, because I was a total weeb from childhood. So when I went to university, of course, I decided to learn Japanese as well. And I even like took it as my minor, and officially took up to like 3 or 4 years in my already degree that I was taking for my undergrad. And that was where I really felt I was one with the crowd, because every single one of these hoes in my class were weebs. I'm telling you, all of us were weebs. All of us knew certain phrases and catchphrases and words and all these slangs from watching anime. Oh damn, I wonder what those people are doing now these days while I'm here talking about my reminiscing of Japanese class. And that was where I really tried to be like a go hard at it, and the pronunciation just came to me as well. Also because I was younger, also because I was a weeb, also because I also tried hard myself, okay? But yeah, oh my god, that part of my life really became useful when I actually went to Japan, because then I could just go around actually speaking with people for the first time outside of my classroom and my actual Japanese teacher and the Japanese TAs and stuff, teacher assistants. And I got to actually meet those TAs again, because they moved back to Japan like during COVID times, and it was just amazing. I felt like that person where they're like, oh my god, I make friends all over the world. I like visit my friends in Germany, in England, in Japan, in Korea, in China, in Dubai, like Australia. Like I felt like that person, but I was meeting like just 2 or 3 people in the same city. But that, my folks, was the best part of the whole thing, because I'm just like, wow, like it's all come full circle. Like this is what I have trained for. Like it's giving like anime montage where I'm just learning all these different vocabulary words, and Duolingo didn't do shit to help this progression. But now I'm just stuck, because I'm just like, how will I learn another language without actually being in a class like that, like in a class classroom setting with someone just like teaching me and stuff. But maybe I will take it and learn Chinese through like watching a lot of like C-dramas, like the ancient historical Chinese dramas that with like, you know, the cultivation and the power within it, like the chia stuff. Because I fuck with that type of shit. Like I already opened the gates of fucking, like, you know, obsession already with my Chinese men, as you see behind me. Very lovely, very handsome. So I bought all those books, obviously, as soon as they came out with an English translation, because I want to support, but also mainly because I was obsessed. Really, do not be like me, folks. Do not be like me and follow my example, spending money on things like this. Of course, if you want to, you can go ahead, but wait until you have adult, full-time working money, and even then, keep it down to a download. Don't spend all that money at once. Don't be like me in high school where I got my first debit card. Like, it wasn't even a credit card. I swear to God, I was actually off the rocker. I might actually be a shopaholic if I actually kept going through with it. And if I did not have strict parents and boundaries of friends being all like, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing? But yeah, I got my debit card for the first time in grade like 11 or so. And I was like, wow, I need to buy some clothes. Like, I feel like this is my calling of actually going online shopping, because I was still living with my parents at the time. Low-key, I still do. And now I'm just like, okay, well, I need to... Battery got out. Where was I? Yeah, I was like, well, I do need to go to a point where I need to upgrade my wardrobe, because I can't be wearing this Justice off-shoulder sparkly garb every day now, can I? I need to buy some serious Asian style clothes from Yes Style. And I'm just out here picking all of like every clothing piece imaginable: pants, jeans, skirts, dresses, sweaters, tops, tank tops, underclothes. Like, I don't even, not underwear, underclothes. Like, I can't even explain. It was just a style at that time. Like, you layer clothes and sort of like this, but it's not meant to be like a wife beater or anything like that. It's like the woman version of a wife beater tank, but cuter without the ugly name, you know? Yeah, exactly. And so, guess how much it came up to after just trying to not spend as much money, but also spending a good amount of money in order to really just come out as a whole fashionista, as the it girl of that time, because I too wanted to be the next Selena Gomez. A year without rain. Ooh. I'm obsessed with the dress too. God, I wish they sold that dress somewhere. I still to this day would die for that dress. Any day of the month, any day of the hour. Maybe not in reverse, but whatever. It was $800 and then some. But there I was, 11. Was I even 11 at that time? Hold on. Because I was like, what, 17, 18 when I was grade 12. So I was like 16, 17. I don't know why it took me that long. God, my brain is not working right now. God. I'm like sitting in this dark room, which is also my bedroom, but I'm just not talking by myself, but also to others. One way is the craziest concept. At least I'm not out in public where people are like filming me like, what is that girl doing? I would actually die at that point, but maybe at some point I do want to purposely and intentionally put myself out there to film content in public. I'm thinking about making those public ASMR videos, but I just never got the courage to go out with my microphone, my ring light, my tripod, and my phone, and just everything that's propping it up clothes, or go to Walmart and shop with you, or go to Sephora and do some makeup and stuff like that. But yeah, hopefully at one point I'll go to like a deserted island where there's a lone Walmart with no employees, just robots, and I'll just all over that place. No, I'll make those videos, I swear to God. But yeah, I was really fucking it up with this imaginary money, virtual money, but imaginary in my mind, because for some reason $800 didn't hit me on my head that it was $800 worth of clothes. I'll bet it was a lot of clothes. It really was. It was like 30 articles of clothing. But damn, if I had $800 right now, I could have bought more games. I could have seriously bought more games where I could have more 2D men to date around and to fuck up and spend my time on instead of like clothes, you know. As I got older, I realized spending money on things that are just like not time wasters, but just time consuming things that bring me joy for a longer period of time, like these ultimate games. I can't. Every single time I say ultimate games, it's just, it like clicks something within my head, just click, 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 and it just sends like serotonin to my brain because I just remember all these things. Where I'm like awake at 3, 4, 5 a.m. like up until like 6 at one point, where I am just sobbing over this one climax and one plot twist over my man just being dramaed all over the place and just run over for no reason, because they really have no right messing with my man like this. Like, I will fight tooth and nail to protect all these beloved men that I have, even the problematic ones. I'm not even gonna name it because I'm not even sure if y'all even play ultimate games. I'm not even gonna go all ham weeb on you. But damn, they do bring me joy. They also bring me stuff to talk about with my friends, as well as inspiration for content. So plus, because they just have crazy ass scenarios that for some reason writers choose all of their creative power on only on the bad ending, where everything's just so dramatic, but in the great best endings, all they could do is just, you guys got married, hooray. And I'm like, great. That's all I asked for. None of the pain to be existing in the best ending, but yeah, goddamn. Thankfully, none of my family members or my parents or my friends, I didn't even tell them, because I think I unconsciously, subconsciously knew. I don't even know the difference between those two still. Since childhood, when I was ESL, I used to use unconsciously instead of subconsciously a lot, because sometimes I hear and read unconsciously. Like, how I learned new words was through books, of course, because I was in ESL. I was in ESL classes, so they're like, what is this? Whoa. But I also learned it through the subtitles of an anime. Specifically Inuyasha and Naruto. I learned the word hyperventilating from Naruto in that one episode where he's like, Sasuke's not coming back. The man was going through a lot at the ripe age of like 16 in the ninja village. Like, I swear to God, he was onto something. And I still to this day don't even know how he even got the interest in Hinata. But anyways, forget about the deadbeat dad. I just ended up using unconsciously, like I was literally passed out, instead of subconsciously. Like, oh, I do it without thinking about it. But nobody actually corrected me on it until maybe grade 12 when I used it in an essay. And the teacher was like, what? Are you drugged? Like, are you passed out? Like, did you faint? Like, what do you mean unconsciously? And I'm like, exactly that. I wasn't conscious when I was making these decisions. Obviously something was not right in my head. God started to tear up. I started to tear up every time when I was in the mood and I have the essay out and I'm like, so in this place where I said that the Germans and the bratwurst were brought together by the trees of the world revolution. Did you not understand it? Because it was the wrong sentence? Or like, what do you mean? Oh god, sometimes I try not to speak at all and just say after I gave them the initial, like, you know, prompt of, so what can I do better? Because that is the magic word for them, to just do all of the talking instead of me going in there and asking specific questions word by word by word, by paragraph, and like pointing it out. I just decided to let them do their thing, and if they decide to not touch upon the one thing that I wanted them to touch upon, it was my loss. I wanted to go home. I wanted to go to my dance club that I was in high school. It was only called Just Dance, and we just like bugged around, following the choreographies of Matt Stefanina's YouTube videos. God, I wish I could show you all the video. I mean, I have it, but I truly do not wish from the bottom of my heart to show you those videos, because I just know they are the cringiest, most pathetic dance moves of all time. And I thought I was the hottest shit, like in the Gymboree gymnasium where like the Panda song was playing. And there was like a small freestyle portion in the beginning, and like how the dancers, before the music actually starts up, they're like, yeah. And I watched religiously at a lot of freestyle dance videos, and these, like, you know, the, what's it called, Matt Stefanina and Kyle Hananami, I think I got that name right. But those two are the videos that I used to watch religiously, of people just doing their own little thing, especially the people at the front in the middle, you know, because those are the people that always have like the flashiest moves and styles. And so I was like, I know what'll get them moving. I know what'll rile people up. I decided to just, when they said I decided to pull a classic dab, because that was very popular at that time. I know, back in the good old days. I dabbed, but also instead of just doing a dab, because that is not enough at that point. I can't just rile people up with the, I gotta do a little bit of drop down low moment, you know, because the squat fast down to the ground and pop up like Rasputin, or Rasputin, whatever. I just said the same word. Rasputin. The Ras. You go up and you go down and you go up, and it was like the coolest thing ever, and I thought people would cheer for me for fucking it up, like a dance circle when you're in the middle and you just do a little, and then go like, yeah, go for it, fuck it up. They did not do that for me. They really didn't. It was sheer silence except for the booming blast of the music. Nobody was saying anything. They did not even acknowledge my drop down low dab. And I was wearing a black and white fit too. Like, I was embodying Panda. I wore those, like, what's it called, baggy sweater zip up things, and like a tight undershirt, so you can have the contrast, you know, because as a dancer you gotta have contrast. If your body's more thin or small or just short or whatever, you gotta have some baggy clothes to like shake it up and to give you some more moves and stuff. Look at that, yeah. Look at it like that. That's no fun. No, you gotta go like, yeah. But just decide to go down in history, nameless. I will not acknowledge the fact that I did that dance move anywhere outside of this video or outside of the friends that were already there dancing with me. So they saw me from behind, me dropping down when they were doing their own like stylish cool dance moves. And mind you, for some reason I decided to not tell anyone about this move that I was doing until the day of the performance. I decided to keep it a secret because I didn't want anyone stealing the hottest dance move, the crimpy cramp, dab dab, down low, 1000. God, I really needed to touch grass at that moment, but unfortunately it was winter in Canada, so you gotta do what you gotta do. But now I'm great. But anyways, that pretty much ended up being a ramble slash story time, which is my entire past life in little tidbits, instead of an update of what happened so far, like why I didn't post. But honestly, at this point, it'll all come up as an excuse anyways. So instead of just saying words, I'm gonna show you by posting more videos. Yeah. So, anyways, I hope y'all have a very good night of sleep. Wow, it's like almost 40 minutes of this talking. Very fun times. I don't even know how I ended up talking about all of this. Pretty much this whole video is just gonna be unedited because, God, if I do edit it, I'm gonna edit out that panda portion because it's just sheer embarrassment. Like, it might not even seem embarrassing now, but it just really is the most embarrassing point in my life. There was a bunch of other more embarrassing points in my life, especially in high school. I feel like I thought I was like the calm, collected one. I really wasn't. I was just as weird and just as fucked up as anyone else. But hey, that is just